All right, so basically this week, which we're running a week ahead, we looked at this video, we looked at this video here, and we looked at this PDF file here, and we ran through the first section of it, which was basically about the overview on BIM. More theoretically, we just talked about that, but good to go back and have a bit of a read yourself when you can on that. We are now going to look at well, this is part of the CRTB booklet, but they also supply a file that comes with that booklet, which we can use to just have a look around in Navisworks. We're supposed to be looking at it in Freedom. We haven't got that, but we'll use the Manage one instead, which is it's got all the tools. Probably tomorrow or the next session we're going to look at doing some clash detections out of a file that is in that particular folder, which is indicated somewhere. Where is it? In here, under this folder here, under the actually this one here is not quite right. That folder is not under the assignment instructions anymore. I'll just show you where that is. It's actually under Navisworks Manage. If you expand that out, there's a crash detection folder, so that's where that is. That needs to be corrected. It's been rearranged, and that's the instructions there, and these are the files that you require. Additionally, there's this house file here that I've supplied to you, and you can use that as well to do some crash detections. You can see here there's an NWC file, which that first video we looked at talked about. When I bring this in, it automatically creates the NWC file for me, so there's no need to use the export utility. Revit, as Navisworks already understands RVT files now. Alright, so firing up Manage. Mine's already set up, but yours probably won't look like this. To get yours to look like this one, you go to the View tab, Load Workspace, and I go for the Navisworks Extended. That gives me just about everything I need. It will go off and think for a bit, especially if you've got a file loaded. It'll take even longer, but it comes back. Don't worry too much. Now, once I get it to this, this is a selection tree. This is like our Revit. Yes, this is like our Revit browser. Very important. We need to have that on. It doesn't have to be sitting there. You can, but if you don't want to sit there, just auto hide. Just click this little pin here, and just goes to the left. And if you just go over next time, it'll just go down here. Probably, I don't know. Where to go? Selections. Yeah, selection tree there. All right. So I don't really use this one here, wherever that is. I'll just close that. Properties is important. It's a bit like, obviously, exactly like the properties you have in Revit. Save viewpoints, they're important as well. We'll talk about them as we go through. Plan view gives you always a plan view of it. I don't really use this. I'm going to close that one. Section view, don't need that either. Okay. So, and then down here is even more. Quantification workbook, find items, comments, timeliner. All right, we'll look at that in a minute. So let me just bring a file up. So basically under the view here, you have an option to save the workspace as well. So if you've got it looking like you want it to be, much like AutoCAD as well, you can save your workspace. All right, so this is the story. We've got to go to a open here. Mine just defaults to this clash detection thing, but I'll go back to the that folder there, which is the oops, too far here. And then I'm going to open up this file we're supposed to be looking at in Freedom. What am I looking at? Okay, so it's defaulting to RVT files because it's something that's what I loaded last week with you. So I'll go back up and change it. By default, it should really be on NWD, or it could be on NWF or NWC as well. So you've got to be careful. NWD is what the file is that I'm looking for. And there it is, there's two of them. This is the one we need. Open that up. And this is the Cancer Centre building, already built, and it's basically at the Flinders Medical Centre area. Those of you that frequent there, hopefully not too many of you, it's built around, basically on this side here is the private Flinders Hospital sort of in here, with the oval sort of and the car park over this side, and then to the southern side over here wraps around the public hospital in here. Opposite here, those of you that know, is the cafe and that sort of thing there. So that's where it is. It's not sitting alone like that. It's actually been wedged into around an existing buildings. All right, so so that's where that is. Now, if we go down to the selection tree here, and I click this one here, it shows me what this basically this is made out of, what file. Okay, so it's got an NWC file, which means it probably, well, it's one. It could have been a CAD file, or it could have been a Revit file imported in here. I'll just make this a bit bigger. All right, so if we have a look at this here now, we can go down. Now, what are we looking at? It's very hard to work out where you are sometimes with this, because just looking at this, unless you knew the file name structure that these people, and now you can also see that that is important when you're setting up a project. You know that when this thing ends up in here, inevitably the builder is able to quickly work out where they want to look at, what drawing, what part of the building they want to look at, and create this NWD file. All right, so let's extend that out. So if I click on something, if I click on, let me see that, and let me just selection tree. See, let me just pin it for now, so you can see every time I click on something. All right, so I clicked on that. It says it's 00-glass blue. That's what that is. All right, so if I go down, so if I click on the one next to it, all right, it says the same thing. Okay, let's just have a look. Okay, so that's exactly the same. So what it's saying is that if I do that, click it again. See how it's selected all of those? So I went up the hierarchy. So as you go down, I'm not sure what that is doing there. It could be on the other side, and I can't see it. Could be somewhere else. So, but if I go here, it'll select them all. So that's all of those. Or I could have gone and selected each one. All right, how does it work? If I go Shift key and the middle mouse button, like Revit, I can swing around. So probably the ones that were invisible before were probably back here somewhere. All right, so something like that. All right, I don't know. If I go here, maybe, yes, there you go. They were back here. That's why they weren't showing up before. All right. So that's how that works. So it might not be necessarily in front of you every time when you click on it, but generally you would, unless you knew where they were and exactly what you're looking for, you would go to it and then say, oh, I don't want that, and then it shows it here as well. So it's a bit like Revit as well. You can actually select some stuff from, or not from here, but from the properties as such, or other times you just have to click on it and change it there rather than the property. So, so that's that. All right. So what I was going to do with this one here. Let's have a look. So if I own the columns, that makes sense. Level 2, that makes sense to me. Level 2 columns, I know I'm probably getting the level 2 columns. Now, the level 2 columns are not here; they're somewhere inside the level 2, so I can't see them. But there are ways of having a look at those as well. All right, so okay, so actually there is where is it? Looking for the thing where you can go focus an item, except it's not focusing on the columns here. I'm not sure what it's talking about. but if I go to that one there, it's gone somewhere else. It's under this, okay, round columns. Yeah, okay, there you go. So if I go right click and then focus on item, it just puts it back so you can see it, but it's not that good. I should be able to zoom into it actually. Anyway, we'll get onto that later. But what have we got here? So we've done that. Where are we? Oh yeah, save viewpoints. Okay, so these things here are, I think, well, one of our projects will be to create, well, the part of this project is, if I just read it again to you, is part B, using any markup software such as Navisworks Manage, import your architectural file, all right, and then use its markup capabilities and then do some markups and then save it as NWD, because yours will be actually an NWF file by default if you bring something in. I'll show you how to do that later. But yeah, to actually create, to actually be able to review and write some text on here, I need to be able to have saved a viewpoint first. And save viewpoints go in here. Now this file already has got some viewpoints because they're required as part of the exercise here. And if I want to go home, I just click on here. So it's like saved views, you know, obviously, that's all it is. Different areas they want you to look at, perhaps. All right. So this thing here looks like it's looking at the MEP stuff and it's taking the skin off the building, and that's what we're looking at. It's a walkthrough, for example, and that one can, if I play that, there's a bit of a walkthrough that someone's created. And this sort of thing you're going to also learn how to create in that those exercises that I've indicated you've got to do maybe tomorrow. Right, so that's a bit of a walkthrough then. I'll show you the timeliner in a minute as well. I think I can bring it up now. Yes, I can. Oh, this one hasn't got anything. Okay. Alright, so it's inspecting. How long is this going for? Let's have a look. I think it's on replay. Alright, so that's the walkthrough. Alright, just stop that. Alright. But that's, you know, in Freedom, which is what supposedly you're meant to be looking at this model in. You can't create a walkthrough, but you can view it. All right. So back here again, save views, and go back to home, which is the beginning view, and it's got a few other things set up in here as well. All right. I'll just see how we're going with this. Okay. So basically, to learn the proper interface of this, you really, of the Navisworks Freedom, that is. But it's the basics. This is actually in the Manage as well. So to learn the basic use of it, I would recommend you run through these exercises, because it will show you how to use the sectioning tool and all that sort of stuff, for example, which is on page 33. What page are we here? 30. All right. So running through, viewing viewpoints, I just quickly showed you that. Sectioning, all right, here you go. So it shows you how to, it's a bit like the Revit section box. It works much the same way. Hiding objects, so it shows you how to do that. So you can run through that as a bit of a exercise, I think, with that. Measuring, the timeliner, and basically that's it. Then we move on to digital layer technologies. I think to get used to the interface, I would like you to run through that, and yeah, we'll leave it at that for this session.